How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about GGPI that's going to be bringing Polestar public. This has been heavily requested on the channel. Many are asking me this question even inside of the Discord. I'm like, you know what? I need to put a video out. We already know the EV sector is hot right now, but a lot of the stocks are not really doing that hot. But you guys know exactly what I mean with a lot of money that's going to be flowing in and so on. But you know what? We'll talk about it further. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important, it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as for the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for GGPI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $11.32, being down 2.83%. On the low, it tested $11.25, and then on the high, testing $11.55. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 2.927 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 6.042 million. So we had about half the average volume that we are used to, and it's part of the reasons why we started seeing some pressure in the stock. We also have to take into consideration market conditions. The chart we're using is actually the daily chart. So when we take a look at our RSI down below, it is right around 41.69. And then when we see our moving averages on the chart, we are below the 21-day EMA, and we're also below the 50-day. So when it comes to this play, this was heavily requested, so we're going to go over it. All right, so what it's looking like, it is on quite a bearish trend. So one area of support I'll be very interested to see hold up would be right here around $11.06. Breaking through $11.06, you'd want to see how well $11 would hold up. And if it doesn't hold up, then we could potentially have a break to where we start testing around $10.80, which is right lined up with the 100-day at $10.76. Now, for the bullish case scenario, what you're going to want to look for, it's going to have to come back here to reclaim that 50-day at $11.58. It ended up seeing a high of $11.55. So if we're able to get above $11.58 and we have volume coming into the play, the next level to keep an eye on will be around $11.86, and then you look for that move going to $12. And it could get very interesting if it starts pushing up and reclaim the 21-day EMA at $12.26, because no doubt in my mind we'd be able to actually be making moves going to around 13. So that's pretty much my analysis when it comes to GGPI. So considering how the market conditions will be, I know it will impact this stock. So let's see what happens. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for GGPI. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it is at 47.15%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 1 million shares. When we take a look now at the short shares availability, it is at 5.5 million, updated 8 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow free rate, it is at 1.33%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of the 10th, it was at 48.60, and then for the close of the 13th being at 47.15. So what does this tell us? Yes, GGPI does have short squeeze potential, and it's part of the reasons why you want to keep an eye on this play and to make sure as far as for your overall entries, you're getting in at a good price. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for GGPI. So we could see here on the inflows at 6,073, and then on the outflows outflow, it was at 7,134. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown even further, on the large, it was 228. On the medium, it was 4,460. And then on the small, it was 1,385. Seeing the outflow side on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 5,815. And then on the small, it was 1,320. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, December the 14th, it being an inflow of 228.2. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And of course, when we covered the large, we had more buying than we had selling, which potentially could represent institutions. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 2.98%. So this is not too bad for a SPAC like GGPI. Of course, there is going to be some selling pressure due to the volatility we have been seeing inside of the markets, but there are also many who are holding on to their positions. And there's one thing I'm going to point out to you is the average cost per shareholder. So you can see it's at $14.43. So what this tells us, as far as shareholders who are in profit right now, it is only 7.94%. So most of the people who are holding shares in GGPI are down right now. So what this tells me right away, there is an opportunity here considering this is a SPAC with the floor being at $10 and then the stock being at around $11.26 at the moment. I saw it in after hours. There's not much risk here, and this is why I was like, you know what? I got to do a video on it and share it with you guys. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for GGPI, this is a very interesting play. When I was doing a little bit of research, I saw in regards to 2021, they've already reached 1.6 billion in sales. Plus on top of that, in year 2020, they were able to sell just over 10,000 cars. And for year 2021, it should be substantially higher. And this is why when I look at this play, considering it's a SPAC with a floor price of $10, there's not a lot of risk here and there's a good amount of upside. As far as for the psychological area where we have resistance, it needs to get back to $12. If it's able to do this, this is where I look forward to seeing some momentum. So if we can go to 13, 14, 15, or even to $30, we've already seen how these EV stocks have been in the past. Then of course, as far as for the risk to reward ratio, the reward is really worth it in this situation. But of course, this is not financial advice, but I do like how this play looks. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does have short squeeze potential. So that's another check mark that I love to see when it comes to a play like this. So for any long-term investor or speculative trader, you want to keep this play on the radar. And another point that I forgot to mention, they also have strong backing from Volvo and as well as Geely. I may have pronounced that wrong, but this just tells us they do have a head start compared to other EV companies that are out there. So I want you to take this into consideration and do your homework and do your due diligence and find out if this will be the right play for you. I am liking it. I do see it can pull back even more. Like I was saying, the next area of support will be around $11.06. And if it wants to go below that and get back into the $10 range, this is where I'm going to say I'm going to be taking a starter position. So now that you guys know what's up and you know what my thoughts are on GGPI, let's see how it performs for the rest of the week. I hope you found this video helpful and we'll be talking real soon.